and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Promise. I'm a registered nurse, and today I'll be talking on something that I was very unhappy to behold the sight. So a few days back, a lady was paraded at Otuocha Aguleri in Anambra State for having a consensual intimacy with her husband, and unfortunately the man died. May his soul rest in peace. However, the inhumane part of this story was that this lady was paraded around the town, two different towns, streets of her goodness. It was so disheartening that it led to me making this video, because a lot of persons or some persons might not know that actually someone can die through sexual intercourse. How and how is it possible that one can die through sexual intercourse? That will be our main topic for today. So please, if you are coming across my video for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and please leave in a comment section or ask questions in the comment section so we interact and get along. Sex can be seen as a mood repair strategy. It can help in redirecting moods, sadness or depression. How is this possible? This is simply possible because of the sexual hormones that is being released during sexual intercourse, and this sex hormone is known as oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone that also helps in childbirth and lactation. During sexual intercourse, oxytocin hormones are released. It helps in ejaculation and strong contraction. The more secretion of oxytocin, the higher this contraction, and this means higher erectile function and ejaculation. So this oxytocin also helps in bonding and building trust. That is that sex hormone. What happens? How is it that which gives a lot of pleasure becomes an attribute to death, or becomes a cause of death? Number one is that sex can trigger subarachnoid hemorrhage via Valsalva maneuver. What do I mean by Valsalva maneuver? Valsalva maneuver is that act whereby one pinches the nose and closes the mouth at the same time. I'll be linking a picture in this video so we can understand better pictorially. So it is that moment whereby there is a cessation of breath and there is a forceful exhalation. So sex can also trigger this, can trigger subarachnoid hemorrhage through this Valsalva maneuver. When there is a subarachnoid hemorrhage, it means there is bleeding into the subarachnoid space, and this subarachnoid space is in the brain, and this can cause occlusion and sudden cessation of oxygen passing through other stem cells of the brain, and death can occur. It has been seen, or it has been noted, that men who are not faithful have greater chances of having cardiac events that can lead to death due to increased sexual activities. Second point is an increase in sexual activities, or an increased hours in sexual activity. It was noted that men who have an increased sexual activities have 2 to 3 chances of having myocardial infarction, that is heart attack, and also one sudden cardiac death. When there is an increased performance or increased hour, assuming, okay, let's take for instance a man who has sexual intercourse an hour every week and suddenly increases to 1 hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours every week, that there is an increased sexual activities in a week, creates more risk or creates chances of having a sudden myocardial infarction or cardiac death. That is the second option. So increased in sexual activities can be a cause or predisposing factor to sexual death or death during sexual intercourse. Another point is dissection of the basilar artery. This basilar artery is responsible of carrying oxygenated blood to the brain. When there is dissection of this artery, that dissection means cutting out or cut off of this artery carrying oxygenated blood to the brain, there is a shutdown of the brain, that there is a brain death. So this can also lead to death. And this basilar artery dissection has also been linked to sexual intercourse. Another thing I'll be mentioning here is sexual headache, known as coital cephalagia, headache that comes during coitus. Men mostly experience this, and this can be as a result of the contraction of the muscles of the neck and the head, or facial muscle contraction, especially during ejaculation. There is a temporal headache. It's temporal, but when it's severe and sudden, it can cause intracranial hemorrhage, and cerebral infarction is often seen during sexual exertion. The cause of death during coitus is the heart condition of the patient, the heart condition of the individual. The individual per se could be a hypotensive or hypertensive patient and may have developed in a long run a heart condition known as coronary heart disease, or a failing heart, or this patient must have developed, or this individual or this partner must have developed a cardiac failure. And then when there is exertion and energy during coitus, there is a cardiac arrest and the heart is unable to supply to the brain and to other vital organs of the body, and death occurs. So an individual's heart condition is also a major determinant of death during sexual intercourse or coitus. So at every stage in your life, you are to ascertain how healthy your heart is before you exert such degree of energy into coitus. Another common cause of death during coitus is the use of drugs to improve sexual energy or sexual strength. People who take drugs to increase their sexual performance are at risk of sexual death. Cocaine, Viagra, just to improve sexual strength, because when there is an increase in oxytocin release, that is more contraction, and when the heart is contracting with so much pressure, the blood flows with a greater pressure, and the passage of blood through the vessels could, with such pressure, could lead to bursting of some vessels in the brain, most especially, and this can also lead to cardiac arrest. So use of drugs just to improve sexual strength, it's not a good idea, because it's a predisposing factor for sexual death. The last but not the least of this section is sexual pervasion. Some persons are sexually perverted. Sexual perversion means weird way of having coitus or being intimate with your partner. Some kind of use handcuffs, the legs, the hand. Some, like a dog, they put in neck a chain over the partner's neck. Forceful drawing of such can strangle this person unknowingly, out of euphoria, out of excitement. So being a sexual pervert is a risk factor for sexual death. You never know how it will happen. So please, let's try to educate our neighbors our friends and families, we have to get to know that there are things that are not the way it seems to be. So with this, I will come to the end of this video. If you like this video, just give it a thumbs up and comment in the section below. In case you have any questions concerning what we've said so far, you can also leave a comment, and please like and share. And if you've not subscribed to my, I don't know what you're waiting for, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to do so. You don't pay for that. And also turn on the notification bell so that you get a notification anytime I upload a new video. See you next time and remain blessed. Thank you.